So I want to do like kind of a look at Kubuntu 2604 as a staunch kind of like black and white version. Like if Ubuntu was the night, then this is definitely the day. I really did not have fun on Ubuntu 2604. Their current desktop causes issues with like programs like Steam and OBS Studio and a lot of these different programs that I like to use to try to get my daily work and stuff done. If I need to trade on Forex, I can't be fighting with the interface, especially within like Firefox. There's certain things that I have to disable in Firefox, certain add-ons I have to use in Firefox in order to get Firefox to do basically what it is that I want. And there's really no other platform out there other than Firefox for me. But your mileage may vary. Firefox just happens to be one of those programs that a lot of these different things got developed for and never really like ported to other things. But we're not going to get into that, right? We just want to kind of look at Kubuntu today. One of the drawbacks for Ubuntu, and this is just the one thing that I noticed when moving over to Kubuntu, is there's no direct way of installing hardware drivers. There's no hardware driver interface anymore. And so yeah, this comes with like a dual thing. It comes with like Synaptic and Discover. There was another icon down here. It was like a store icon, and every time I clicked it, it would ask me if I want to use Discover or Synaptic Discover or Synaptic Discover or Synaptic. So what I did is I just pinned Discover here and removed that stupid little program. I'd never use it. It's nothing I'll ever touch. I hate Synaptic. Synaptic is annoying. We'll show that to you now. Hold on. Hopefully this doesn't ruin my recording. This thing looks like it's like straight out of the 1990s. It's a program that hasn't been updated in like ever. The interface is just as boring as it has ever been, and you're better off just using the terminal. I have no idea why they're so reliant on it. It's not something I will ever use. Now, there's some things that I installed from FlatHub, and in order to enable FlatHub, I had to go drop into the console here and do like, this, right? I had to actually like install like the FlatHub and everything, which is fine. That's fine. It's not something that I'm really expecting a distribution like Ubuntu to do. But this third-party distribution that's based on Ubuntu should absolutely have Flatpaks enabled by default under the hood. I don't think that they should have done that because Kubuntu is not directly associated with Canonical. It's a completely different thing. It's a different distribution. It's just based on it. So this is the default wallpaper that comes with it right here, this basic thing. And it changes at night and day. I really like that it changes to the dark mode at night. There's some other wallpapers like this one that come included with it. We got the old Nexus folding. It looks like we got Oranoids here. So all the stuff from like your different versions of KDE Plasma. Again, this isn't really going to be like a look at KDE Plasma, but it does come with KDE Plasma 6.6. And the one thing that really I didn't know this when I went into the Ubuntu 2604 because again, it's not something I was really using all that much because I kept running into problems with their interface, the GNOME interface that they decided to go with. I don't know why they just don't switch over to KDE Plasma at this point. I think they should. I think that would really negate the use for this. You can make KDE Plasma look like the Ubuntu desktop. I'm not going to do that in today's video, but I don't think it would be all that difficult to do. Anyway, this comes with the latest kernel, which I thought was incredibly strange because this is not the LTS kernel. The LTS kernel currently is 6.18, and this is an LTS distribution. I don't know if Ubuntu did this in the past, where they ship an LTS version of their operating system with a non-LTS kernel. I really think that they don't. I really think this should upgrade to a Linux kernel 6.18. I don't really see anything inside of kernel 7.0 that would make me want to install it on a desktop. In fact, I think it would just be causing more problems at this point than it's actually like solving. Outside of a higher number version and a few things added to it for networking and stuff like that, and a couple of other things, for the most part, you're not going to be wanting this version of the Linux kernel. In fact, this version of the Linux kernel could cause issues for you, especially as updates come, especially if you use like a closed source driver like the NVIDIA driver like I have going on here. And I think that whoever's in charge of this should be like removed from their seat of power making these decisions. You don't release an LTS distribution with a non-LTS kernel. That's just not something you do. This is really asinine, and I really think that they should go back on that decision. And I think that like the developers of Kubuntu are sticking too closely to Ubuntu. Maybe they don't have the ability to change the Linux kernel under the hood. Installing another Linux kernel is very, very simple and straightforward. All you have to do is download it, compile it, and replace it. Or you can get like a pre-compiled version and just replace it. Or you could just go back to Debian and just base everything on Debian and use kernel 6.18. I just don't think that they should be using kernel 7.0, and I think this is a really, really, really poor move. That being said, I personally haven't ran into any bugs or issues, but I do keep seeing updates that are kernel related and driver related that really scare me. This is not something that we should be seeing in an LTS distribution. In fact, as you can see right here, the wallpaper states that it's an LTS distribution. This is definitely something that I really wish that like people would think before doing. Like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. This is definitely one of those times where somebody sat back and made the decision to go with kernel 7.0. Maybe they tested it internally on a few computers that they have to work with, and they go, you know what, this works just fine. Let's just release it. And you got people out here like me who have like newer PCs that are just sitting here going, no, that's asinine. Don't do that. Maybe there's a compatibility thing that makes it more compatible with newer hardware. I don't know. I think that's as far as releasing kernel 7.0 goes. I do know that they did partner with Frameworks to create drivers for their Frameworks laptop, which is Intel Core Ultra 3rd Gen. So that might be part of the leading reason for going with kernel 7.0 over kernel 6.18. But I think that taking those drivers and installing them into kernel 6.18 isn't that hard to do. And in fact, I think it's already done. And it might not have already been done by the release of Kubuntu 26.04, but I think that what they did is just like they should have just maybe pushed off the development a little bit longer or waited. I think they could have easily waited for 26.10 to release like kernel 7 point whatever it would be in kernel 26.10. Or just release two versions of 26.04, one with kernel 7.0 and one with kernel 6.18, because if I saw kernel 6.18, that would have been the one I would have grabbed. I'm probably going back to Fedora Silverlight after this, at least for a little while. Yeah, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on some things. I don't really want to go through a lot of like the different like aspects of this distribution, because again, most of the distribution for Kubuntu is just this. Oh yeah, here it is, Manus Software. Every time I clicked it, it would just start this. Oh yeah, this is something that like it was out of the box. It has this stupid like animation. I wish that, like I know that like you can go into settings and turn it off, but it just takes up resources. And maybe people like it, maybe people don't. But every time I clicked this came out, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys another time.